How do you know when you've met the right person? How did we meet? How did we get along?
How do you know if the person you've met is the right one? What values do you place at the foundation of your relationships?
So we're going to talk about what was important to us when we first met and how we met in the first instance. This is the Lifecraft Co channel. Libby!
Julian!
Libby, how did we first meet? How did we meet? How did we get into this position?
I haven't even got my ring on.
Right, you haven't... Here I am, sporting the wedding ring, and you haven't got your ring on.
Lockdown.
Libby, how did we meet? How did we get into this position where we're married?
We met at church because I was a student on placement.
Because we're Christians.
In Lincoln.
We serve the church, we give of our time.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I was at Bible college, and at Bible college you have placement weekends, and my placement weekend was in Lincoln at the church that you're part of.
So that's where we were first introduced to each other, and I saw you across the room and I thought, there is a beautiful lady. Sophisticated, charming, witty, intelligent. And then I met Litna. That's exactly what I thought of you.
I saw you across the room and I thought you were very handsome, very confident, that you were a very godly man, and that was very attractive to me. Then I got to know you and you got to know me, and we have a different sense of humour initially. Your banter came across really brutal to me and I thought you hated me.
Yeah, so this is like the north-south divide. I mean, I'm not really from the north, but I'm definitely not from the south.
Because I'm from Kent.
And in the south, like, everything's sort of subtle, nuanced, which is the complete opposite of me. The further north you get, the more kind of banterish the humour gets, more aggressive. And you had a friend like from the far north that fully understood this.
Yeah, she did, and she explained to me that no, Julian doesn't hate you, he's actually really into you, this is him flirting with you. And that was like an education for me.
And then we got to know each other over the coming weeks, didn't we? And we wanted to find ways to spend time together, to get to know each other better one-on-one.
We met in the September, we spent a few months getting to know each other at church or in like social settings, and then in December we had our first kind of date, and that was at a all-you-can-eat Chinese.
Yo-Yo in Beijing.
Yeah.
Other Chinese restaurants are available.
Which was great, and that was the first time we had time to speak one-on-one really, and we got to ask lots of questions about each other and get to know each other on a deeper level than just meeting up with friends.
And so that carried on for a little bit over coffee dates, that kind of getting to know what our likes and our dislikes were, what our values were, whether we were compatible. I think we were both, it's fair to say, in a place where we were only interested in dating each other if there was a long-term future in it, which I know not everyone's in that same boat, but for us it was about the long game.
Yeah, totally. I think for me personally, I had relationships before as a teenager when I was younger that I knew would never come of anything, and I just didn't want that again. It felt really pointless. So I was only looking for someone if I thought there was a strong chance that I could marry them.
Over the summer we found ourselves meeting up in London as well, because you were still going back to your parents in Kent.
Yes.
And then we had date days in London. One of them was like in a board game cafe.
Yeah, that
went
was
to
really
the
cool.
Tate Modern.
That was really cool. And another one, we did a dinner cruise across the Thames.
That was awesome. I remember that.
It was really nice.
And we went all the way up to MI5 and then back all the way down to the Tower of London while having a 3-course dinner, and they sort of staged it so you can see the sights. That's a good trip if you ever get a chance.
Yeah, that was really nice. And so that was most of our summer, wasn't it?
It was. And then also when you had your 21st, I think I got you cooking lessons in the financial quarter in London.
This was like a prerequisite to marriage.
It was like we were very serious by that point. And and then we were sat on the bench looking at the financial quarter. There was the Gherkin building, do you remember that?
Yeah.
And we were sat on the bench looking up at that.
Yeah, and we were sitting
midnight, pollution all over. It was lovely.
We were waiting, we had a bit of time to kill because we were waiting for a train, and so we thought, let's sit and enjoy the moment. So I thought, I'm going to say I love you now, because we hadn't said it yet, and I was getting really fed up of waiting for Julian to say it.
I knew it was coming at some point, and I was still in my head, where do I sit? 'Cause if I say I love you, that's kind of like long term. That is, you're very serious at that point. This is no longer just getting to know each other. It's no longer just spending time together.
It was a big decision for you, wasn't it?
It was a big decision for me, I think, and it was great that you said it first as well.
That was the point at which we both said, I love you, and he did say it back.
I said it back, because it's always, it's that friend. Oh, was that scene in Friends where it's like, I love you, and the other person's like, I love spending time with you. That's not what you want to hear.
Yeah, no.
So we didn't do that. That was cool. We both said it.
We both said it, so that was great.
So from that point on, it was a very serious future we had together.
Yeah, totally. And we'll leave the rest of the story about we got engaged and married. We leave those for other videos, but the start of our relationship was really important for setting a foundation for the rest of our relationship, marriage, and so on, family life to come.
So how did you know it was right? We had a lot of help along the way as well. We had some really good friends and had some tough conversations as well with some people that watched us together and helped us along the journey. But in yourself, how do you know, I'm pretty sure I've got a future with this guy?
I think for me, like I said previously, I'd been in relationships when I was younger, but I never felt like I could marry that person. Whereas when we were dating, sorry if any of you guys are watching this, but I really couldn't.
You lost, it's too late. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on.
Whereas with Julian, as soon as we got to know each other beyond sort of 3 months or so, I knew that I could marry him. And for me, that was really important. And as well as all as like the emotions that I was feeling, it was what other people around me were saying.
True.
So close friends could see that it was healthy, that it was a good relationship. And then when you met my parents for the first time, they approved of you, and so that was a big thing. Like,
parents' approval, that's huge actually for marriage material.
Yeah, like I needed my parents to like you, because actually otherwise, particularly living so far away from them, it was really important that there was a good relationship between you and my parents, which there is, which is great.
So for me, because I'm a little more methodical, maybe strategic in my thinking, I really was values driven in terms of my relationships. So, well, the first thing is I wanted to make sure I got myself right, because if you'd met me when I was 18, I don't think we'd have got along. I was very insecure. I was very angry inside, actually. And I think until I'd sorted myself out and sorted my own heart, emotions, and mind out, I don't think I'd have been pleasant.
Yeah, from what you've told me about what you were up to at 18, I don't think we would have spent much time together.
So I think the first thing is to maybe sort yourself out and go, actually, am I comfortable in who I am? And I got to a place where I was comfortable in being single as well. I didn't need anybody. I didn't need a relationship to fulfill me. Quite secure in who I was when we met. And so that really helps kind of set the scene. And then there's 3 things for me, and they all begin with the letter C, because why not? Character, calling, and chemistry. So like, have I got good character, but also the person that I'm looking to date, which is you, have they got a good character as well? Are they noble in their pursuits? Are they kind? Are they attentive? Are they sincere and authentic? So those things I would call good character. It's not setting the bar too tall with that. It's just actually, is this person a genuinely good human being? Then I'd say calling. Your future, do you see that being spent in the same place roughly as me? So for instance, if you felt, well, I'm going to go build schools in Africa, or I'm going to go start a career in Singapore. Well, I don't want to start a career in Singapore, and I don't want to build schools in Africa, as good as those things are. If you wanted to do that, it's just not going to work. There's going to be too much tension. There's going to be things pulling us in different directions. So are we roughly focused in the same area of what we want to be doing, of what we feel we should be doing? And then chemistry. Actually, did we get on? So you can find someone with good character. You can find somebody that's going to be focused in the same areas, or staying at least in the same city, same town as you. But do you even get on? And when you have spent quite a bit of time together, do you still get on as well? Do you see this person being someone you can build a future with? So that's character, calling, and chemistry. And often when you date for the first time, I'm sure you'll know this, or you might not yet know this, but psychologists have a particular term for a period of time where you've got maybe 3 or 4 months when you've just met somebody, and you feel the butterflies and you feel the excitement, and there's chemistry going on in your mind. It's all a bit of a rush, and you can't wait to see the person. After maybe 6 months to a year, that kind of fizzles out a little bit, and what you're left with is values, character, and a determination to build a life with somebody. And you've got to find out, this is someone who I can build a future with. For me, that was foundational. Character, calling, chemistry, and our values in the middle of that. Do we value the same things? Could we potentially build a marriage together? You almost want to start thinking about your relationship as though you were going to be married.
Yeah, totally.
And I think you hit a point, if I'm not going to spend the rest of my life with this person, I'm wasting my time and I'm wasting theirs. Maybe that's the time to call it quits.
Yeah, totally. I think as well, that's not to say that you need to see someone and think, I'm going to marry you, and it's like marry at first sight. I think there is a getting to know you stage to that. But if that sort of 2 or 3 months in of getting to know someone as a good friend, if you that's the point at which, do you know what, you're just wasting their time. and it's quite selfish, I think, to stay in a relationship with someone if you can't see a future in it, because you're potentially preventing that person from having the freedom to meet the person that they will get on with, and there will be marriage material in there.
Hey, we hope you've enjoyed this video. Like,
subscribe,
share, ciao.
See you later.
How do you meet anyone? How do you know when the one's the one?
I don't know.